We would argue in Ringwood that the natives, the Ramapo, were here for thousands of years before and have not left since, despite all the terrible trauma that has been impressed upon them unfairly and illegally. Yet they persist, and now in this generation you've got guys like me who are grateful Americans, children of immigrants, who see what really occurred in this country over the past few hundred years, and the fact that we can honor these people now and fight for their rights and help them recover rights and lands and dignity and health. We've taken a personal responsibility to do so, myself and several others, and it's a very important thing, and it almost signifies reincarnation. You know, natives knowing, okay, this too shall pass, and we will come back in the forms of other beings that will be able to more effectively fight for us and our community and the right. And that's what we did. I'm speaking for myself, but I've had this conversation with numerous other humans, and I'm going to look at the camera so it's legitimate. We and I believe that my soul has reincarnated lifetime after lifetime to serve a specific purpose during that lifetime. This lifetime I incarnated as a Caucasian male so that my words would be influential in a time where Caucasian males are not saying the things that I'm saying and defending other people the way that I am attempting to defend other communities outside of my own. To me, this is not a community outside of my own. I've been friends and raised around these natives since I was in kindergarten, probably preschool. They were the first to befriend me. Of all the people in our society, my first friends were the natives. So these are my people more than anybody. They've cared about me and I care about them. They have the principles of caring about this land that I love, so we share those principles. Not everybody of my look shares similar natural principles. So I have magnetized during my lifetime to a specific type of consciousness that happens to be the resonating consciousness of many, if not all, Native American tribes throughout history. It's a perspective that allowed them, as I've said in other videos and this video, to successfully live in harmony and peace with each other, despite what our history told us that they were in constant war, for thousands and tens of thousands of years. Societies that are constantly at war don't last that long. So if you're sitting here and you're like, oh, you're ignoring history, they absolutely were at war and these tribes would always fight. No. Think of it like the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics. I would imagine that's more what we are perceiving their fighting as, a competitive thing. But at the end of the day, if the Celtics win the NBA championship, they don't conquer and take over New York City. It's not how it works. But for some reason in our generation, we think that's what competition is about, is conquering and winning, which is not true. So it's to teach us what we're made of and what we need to work on as individuals and communities to improve. That said, all of this beauty, as you see, I've been walking for 15 minutes now. My other video is about 10. This is pristine, untouched for thousands of years. See, look at this, cool structures, right? It's like a wall, and then somebody stacked that big stone on top of that other big stone. Do you see that? That wasn't created that way. That was done as a signifier of, hey, this is where we are. Because where I just came from, I found those artifacts, was right up over there. And all these ridges run down and they all flow towards the water. Now look at this. This is the old storage space for things. Probably, from the research I've done, pottery and things are in there. I'm not digging, I don't have any shovels or anything, and I don't have anything to carry with. But when I bring the native communities back and the archaeologists, we're going to go to those places and they're going to officially dig into it and prove that, just like other archaeologists in the past that said that's where you find stuff, they're going to find troves of ancient treasures. I'm not saying this is city of gold treasures, you never know, but I would imagine all types of pottery, more tools, weaponry. There's tons of crystals in this area, and I found tools carved out of crystals. I would like to find, I think for me the most exciting thing would be some type of shaped and carved crystals. To me that would be really exciting to find, but it's infinite. So here's another interesting thing. I'm stumbling along and you can see another road there. Now my friend Hunter, in other videos we've seen these giant rocks stacked on the sides of roads, and even if you're arguing that ancient man was naturally stronger because they were doing things outside more, these rocks would be terribly challenging to carry in place in any way. It's like, look at the size of these. This has got to be a couple thousand pounds. Even if you had 4, 5 really strong guys, it would be a challenge to move that. Horses, donkeys, who knows? But these are up on the sides of mountains. Like, we're not in flat ground. This is an elevation of 500 feet, and it goes even higher. But you can see there's just roads that go all the way up through here. These are not marked trails. There's nothing on the trees. There's even no prints, so it's not like you could argue this is a 4-wheeler trail. There's no prints that are here. The most you'll see, I mean, there's leaves that are uncrushed, sticks that are uncrushed. Even if you would argue, oh, that's a quad trail, ATV trail, you can't argue that because there's no tracks. So if it was, nobody's used this in a long time. And look at, we're like on these ridges. This is a secret path. These are the ancient pathways that I found all around Ringwood in these mountains. They're not marked. Yeah, somebody's been back here. Obviously at some point there was a quad and they were doing this to get up. Honestly, I don't even know. Why would a quad need that? That might be a horse and carriage. Although that looks like nice modern cut wood, but I don't know. So just to tell you, I'm okay. That's the river. I'm finding my way down. I'm just doing the top ridge. And yeah, if you hear my sniffles, I think some pollinators or some allergens are being released because it's weather shift. And I'm getting a little sniffly. But heading back down to my vehicle at the main modern road here, just to show you some beautiful streamage before we go. Nice Tarzan vine. In case you've never been to the jungles in North Jersey, we have actual vines that you can climb about 60 feet up into a tree on. If they're located close enough to each other, you can swing vine to vine. They're not what I imagine is in like the Congo, those high-hanging swinging vines. Our vines actually come from the ground up, so you wouldn't be able to just like swing tree from tree because they do have a bounce back. It's almost like a really thick, strong rubber band, so you can swing 5-10 feet in one direction and then it's going to swing shot you right back to where you started. But it's so beautiful. So this is, let's see the sun glistening off. All those tributaries come from different mountains up different hills, and they found their way down here, and then they go to one tributary, one river stream that finds its way to a bigger stream, and then it goes to the watershed property, which used to be the farms for the natives, right where the triangle at Westbrook converges. In the woods over there, there's a beautiful waterfall instead of rapids that comes down and leads into the tributary that, or the river that this will link up to, which I have filmed in other areas or other videos you'll see. I'm 20 minutes into this one. I'm going to cut it now so I can clip these all together properly without having too much overflow. But I will do one more before we leave today. This was Burnt Meadow, the beginning of the explorations. We've turned up several sites, artifacts. I'm going to reach out to Chief Man in the New Jersey Archaeological Association with this guy, and we'll see what happens. Let's see if we can get this validated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site so that generations to come can experience the beauty of this land as it's being preserved, and then learn about the sacred knowledge from the Ramapo tribe as they federally are getting their rights back and now can teach us again. now with open minds on our receiving end to hopefully work together to improve this planet and sustain this beauty for years and generations and millennia to come. Because very soon this is all going to be transforming to green, and we need to make sure that these plants are protected so that we have beautiful air to breathe. It's on us. We are the ones that have the feet that can get up and walk around and do the work necessary to do the right thing. The trees simply give us air and life and love, and they stand their ground. We can learn from that, okay? I love you all. See you soon.